Hello everyone, it's Riffraff Hornhelm and I'm back yet again. And this time it's with our second part of our Halloween special. This is kind of the funny, goofy stuff. We're going to have reviews of typical Halloween-y type monsters. We've got a few limericks, we've got a couple of spooky stories, and content for you to enjoy as part of this Halloween celebration. So, without further ado, I'll turn you over to my good friends here within the HornhelmClan, and a few others, and we'll let you enjoy and talk to you later. Have fun.
Hi, I'm Trixie Hornhelm. I'm here today to talk about werewolves. Now, everybody's scared of werewolves their whole bite. I don't understand where that comes from. Because whenever I fought a werewolf, the one time he got in close, I got him right around the head and he bit me right there. Next thing I know, he starts changing. Not me. He starts changing. Now I'm hugging a buddy. Because now he turned into a dwarf. I don't understand why everybody's so scared of him. They just turn into dwarfs whenever they bite people. We'll figure that out next time. But really, when it comes down to it, werewolves, whenever it comes to danger, we don't worry about them. They're about a -1 because you just get a new drinking buddy.
There once was a dragon in red, from whom the heroes all fled. He bathed them in fire, made a great roaring pyre, and roasted them till they were dead. I quite like that one.
Hi, Harry Hornhelm here. I'm here to talk to you today about skeletons. They're not just good for xylophones. They're kind of creepy. In fact, went to go fetch Whitey's pickaxe because old man just forgot the poor thing in his closet. Opened up the door. Whole bunch of skeletons. Glad I brought my hammer. Always recommend bring a bludgeoning weapon. It didn't last very long, but the only confusing thing was they had his ex-wife's names on them. Gonna have to ask him about that. Anyway, always bring a hammer, hit them. They shouldn't bug you. As far as a rating goes, skeletons, maybe a 2 out of 10. They're not very dangerous, but in large numbers, you can die. And then you just make more skeletons, which, So hit them. Hit them hard, hit them fast, be done. Started.
Hello, everyone. It's me, the Death Dwarf. And I'm here with a creepy story for you for this Halloween. This is the most horrifying story for any dwarf to hear. And it's called The Beard Butcher. Can you imagine creeping through the tunnels at night, coming back from your favorite pub full of the wonderful libations that they serve? The ale and the whiskey have made you find a strange way home, wandering, bumping off walls, barely able to recite your own name. It's then that the Beard Butcher strikes and grabs you as you're walking home, tying you up, and slowly, one strand at a time, starts snipping and snipping and snipping the very beard that you treasure above all things, that gives you the true heart and spirit of a dwarf. And this cruel butcher has you locked away. Not for 1 day, not for 10 days, but for 100 years, snipping one strand at a time, while you scream and gibber and cry and beg, to no avail. This is the tale that brings tears of fright and screams to the mouths of every dwarf as they ponder being trapped for 100 years and having their beards stripped away one strand at a time until eventually they look like a human.
Hi everybody, Ingot here. I'm here to review the Immortal Vampire. The pointy-toothed, over-dramatic creature that it should be feared. However, my favorite vampire story ends with the vampire being set alight. But not after some shenanigans ensue with enchantment and the typical over-the-top accents that vampires tend to use when they've been alive too long. I do have to say that it was a great show of Dwarven strength that time we beat the vampire. Me and my brothers. It was a great show of ingenuity that we decided to play tag and lead the vampire into a ray of sunlight in the middle of the forest. But not before we had all to run back ourselves because honestly, dwarves like to be underground. That's my favorite vampire story. And if I had to rank the vampire, I would rank it a 9 out of 10.
A beholder with 10 tentacled eyes. Watch closely as it scrutinized. Adventures without guile, with its big toothy smile, while it pondered their imminent demise. I quite like that one. That was pretty good.
Hi everybody, Chit Chat Hornhelm here, and today we're going to be talking about ghosts. Now, ghosts are the subject of a lot of stories, a lot of spooky movies, but let me tell you something. They really aren't that horrible to deal with. First off, they can't lie to you. You can see right through them. Second off, what you need to remember is that normal weapons won't hurt them. You have to have a blessed weapon or a cleric. That's why you carry an axe that's not only blessed by a cleric, but that you feed whiskey. Holy water, my friends. I had to deal with the ghost. Some lady ghost who was looking for Whitey. I don't know the story, I just sent her on her way. At any rate, ghosts on a danger level, we're talking maybe a 2 to 3 out of 10. If they're really angry, they can do some pretty horrible stuff, but really, there's no substance to them at all.
Hey everybody, it's Whitey, and I'm Beck, and I'm here to talk to you about mummies. Not daddies, just mummies. I know it's an old joke, but I'm old. And I have to tell you that my experience with mummies was, well, embarrassing. We were in a dungeon, looked a lot like this, and I had to relieve myself, number 2. And I went into a corner, and I did that. But I forgot to pack toilet paper, and there was this thing there, and it was wrapped in toilet paper. So I grabbed some and started using it, and then it started pulling back. That was really strange. And then it got up, and it came after me, making spooky noises. I was very scared. But then I found the solution. As I ran away, I picked up my torch, and my torch caught a little bit of the toilet paper that was still attached to my belt on fire, and the entire mummy burst into flames. So, this is what I learned. If you have mummies around, make sure you have fire, and you'll be okay. It was very strange. And I have heard other people were giving reviews that said bad things about me. I don't like you. I'm old. I'm treacherous. And I'll get you. So, when you look at a mummy and you have to rank it, if you don't have fire, maybe a 5 or a 6. If you do have fire, a 1 or a 2. And that's what I think about mummies. Bye.
Hello, I am Lunk Hornhelm. This is my first time doing a video. I'm very happy to be doing this one about zombies. I was asked to review them. They are extremely interesting creatures. I run into them probably about once a week in my job. While I'm clearing out some of the deeper mines, you find them just wandering around mindlessly. To me, they're not really that big of a deal. They keep coming up to me and checking on me. And they scratch at the top of my helm and then wander off. I'm not sure why. I've always heard that they search for brains and I got some of the biggest in the mines. But I guess that's not true for them. I'm completely safe and immune. I think that these creatures are probably the easiest creatures on the planet to destroy because they just walk right past me. I don't understand the problem. But that's why I'm gonna have to give a ranking on zombies. And to me, they're a 0. But most others, I don't understand. They keep changing and their minds keep changing. So I'd probably give them a 7 for those other guys because they keep changing their minds. Thank you.
Guten Abend, everyone. This is a story about the Zwerg explodiert. The story of Fritz, the exploding dwarf. When Fritz was quite small, he was a big fan of sweets. And there was one particular sweet that he liked better than all the others. And these were Kartoffelnudeln, potato noodles that were fried in butter with sugar or honey on top. It was his favorite snack, and he would eat them by the bucket load. As he got older, he never stopped loving his wonderful noodle, his potato noodles. And once he was an adult, he never stopped eating his wonderful potato noodles. And then, what happened? Well, of course, he got gross, big. He ate so many of the potato noodles that he became almost one himself. He was so large. It was very difficult for him to walk anywhere. So, one day, Fritz, the potato noodle dwarf, was invited to a party with all of his family, with the little dwarf children and his dwarf wife. And he went to this party and had a wunderbar time. He ate many of these potato noodles. And then, as the party progressed, there was a contest. Who could eat the most potato noodles? Well, of course he had to join this contest, and after very many hours of eating one by one, others fell from the table, unable to eat another potato noodle. But not Fritz. He was able to keep eating them. And finally, as his last competitor, fell back, stuffed to the gills with so many potato noodles, he took one more potato noodle. And he smiled and looked at everyone as he slid it into his mouth, chewing it up and swallowing it. He had won. But then, the trembling and the grumbling and the quake started to happen, first to his body, then to the very table, and all the people around him noticed him shaking violently. Nobody knew what was happening, but I think you can guess. In the very next instant, he exploded! Oh my goodness! There was much blood and bits and bone spread all over the room, all over his children and his wife and his family. It was, frankly, it was very, very yucky, and nobody would be very happy with that. It was incredibly horrible, and no one could imagine such an ending to a party. Ever since this day, when you go out to a party, or you're sitting at home, and you hear the voice in the back of your head that says, "Just one more," do not listen, because that is Fritz. He wishes you to join him by exploding. So stay away from that and watch out, and remember, too many potato noodles are bad. Fröhliche Halloween!
My scabbard is missing its sword, said milady as she thought of her lord. So now there's a squire who's lighting her fire and keeping her from getting bored. Sounds like humans to me. Riffraff Hornhelm here again, and I'm back this time with a review on a creature. As part of our wonderful Halloween special, we've been looking at different creatures out there, and I have one for you too that, of course, why did I get it? Because no one else wanted to do it. Isn't that peachy keen? So, I'm going to talk to you about ghouls. Those wonderful, slimy, nasty creatures that hang out in graveyards and feast upon the bodies of the dead. Ugh. Reminds me of elves. They're quite the creature, and one that you need to be very careful of if you're stuck near a graveyard or in an area where there's a lot of dead critters and creatures and rotting organic matter of one kind or another. Not vegetables. They don't eat vegetables. Not even rotting ones. But rotting meat? Oh yeah, they like that quite a bit. So, the experience I've had with ghouls is, well, it's pretty simple. It was while we were marching through a dungeon where we had to pass through a graveyard, and there was a bunch of ghouls in there. Were they a particularly tough opponent? Oh, hell no. They squoosh just as easily as a kobold does. And honestly, with an axe, you can go through them. It's like a hot knife through butter. So I'm not a big fan of ghouls because they're just ucky and smelly, and like I said, it's like going into an elvish village or something. It's horrible. But any good cleric, anybody who's got the ability to swing a sword or swing a hammer, should be able to get through ghouls without too many problems. And that's why, when I think about ghouls as an opponent, I gotta honestly say, I rank them right up there with skeletons. So like a 1 or a 2, really easy to get. And, you know, if nothing else, it helps keep your muscles toned, keeps that muscle memory in good shape from swinging your weapons. So it's not all bad. So, enjoy the ghouls out there when you find them, because you're not going to find too many that are easier to kill. Take care, everyone.
A bearded dwarf once came to town, and his beard was a shiny bright brown. He drank while he shuffled, and his singing was muffled, and he planted his nose on the ground.
Hello, everybody. Riff Raff Hornhelm here, back to you as we talk about this spooky holiday, Halloween. And with me today are two of the spookiest creatures you can find in the world today. And I think I don't need to say very much about that. One's red, one's blue, one's red. They both get very upset, no matter what gets said. You want to be really scared this year? As a human, think about politics. If that doesn't scare you, brother, I don't know what will. Happy Halloween. Go ahead. Well, I hope that was fun. Hope you enjoyed the reviews and the limericks and the stories. Go out and have yourself a spooktacular Halloween, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Remember, if you liked it, please hit the like button. Send us a comment. Subscribe to us. Shout it from the mountaintops. And we'll see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Remember, dwarves rock!